Good evening, Commonwealth. Thanks for watching the Channel 2 News. I'm Chris Nelson. Let's take a look at tonight's top stories. The Casino Commission checks on hotel construction progress in a meeting this morning. Also tonight, Public Lands finds a new potential partner for Gaha tours. And when will direct flights resume between Saipan and Japan? Good question. In sports, arguably the greatest game ever played in the Coblerville Gym. Stay with us. These stories and more are next.
"48 hours. That's all we get in a week. But those 48 hours, we try to make them last forever. How? By filling them fast with all the right stuff. With a lot of laughter, a little drama, some adventure, and a whole lot of love."
Dad, Mom's here.
It happens pretty quick,
Bye, Dad.
but it's cool. Because the rest of the week, we talk about our plans
You want to go to the beach?
on how to make the next 48 hours last us a lifetime.
Hafaday Tirwami and good evening, Commonwealth. Today is Wednesday, August 28th, 2019. Commonwealth Casino Commission met this morning. Board member Joe Rage is asking about changes in contractors at the Saipan Casino and if those changes could affect the quality of the building. Here's some sound from that meeting.
I don't have to tell you, I'm sure you're aware of the turnovers of contractors. How many contractors have been engaged in the project from day one up to now? It concerns me. The CCC must be informed timely, don't you think? You're in charge, right?
Yes.
So, you know, as I said, we've gone through a casino license amendment number 8.
But right now, so far, I believe the progress that we're looking, the subcontractor, on site, they are performing. We are very happy with, the progress. Obviously, we need more, HCBs or more skilled workers. That would be even better. But right now, I think we are, we're moving forward.
Yes, because so many different contractors do it differently. So I hope whoever your CM is on top of everything, so that the building is being constructed accordingly to plans,
yes,
and not necessarily compromise the structure of the building.
Right.
We will have more from that meeting later in the week. The #1 tourist attraction could soon change hands from a Japan-based company to a Chinese one. DPL has now received an initial deposit for Gaha from UTOP. When DPL issued the request for proposal for Gaha Island, Tossi Tours, who has managed it for decades, did not submit a bid. DPL says 2 firms submitted, Triple J Enterprises and UTOP. Triple J won the original bid but withdrew before executing a final agreement.
We have given a notice to award to UTOP. Originally, the evaluation team had selected Triple J, and Triple J withdrew because they weren't able to satisfy the insurance requirements. So just this week, we received a check from UTOP for $330,000, and we are getting ready to finalize that to finalize the concession agreement. And by next week, it should be headed up to the Attorney General's office.
What is that check
signature.
for? Is it a down payment towards rent, or is it part of?
Yes,
It's a security deposit?
rent plus security.
Tossie Tours continues to manage the island on a month-to-month basis. They just don't know for how long.
Although I said earlier that we've given a notice of award and that UTOP has already submitted all the final documents and payments, I have not notified Tossie Tours yet, because I want to make sure that the documents are finally signed and approved by the Office of the Attorney General before we officially notify them. Would not like to see a gap in operation. And so once the final signatures are done as required, as stated in the RFP, the last signature on that concession agreement is when we inform the current operator that they have 90 days to transition.
Tergezo says changes are coming to the landing fees, both in the amount and also how they can be used.
The new RFP said that we will have to both work together to see what costs are allowable. 100% of the public areas are going to be allowable to utilize funds from the landing fee for repairs or maintenance or upgrades. When it comes to the concession area, there's a big difference in the new RFP and what the previous concession agreement had. And so we're going to be a little bit more restrictive in terms of what the operators can draw down on.
Is the landing fee going to stay $5 or is it going to go up?
Currently, it's at $5. We have some draft regulations to change that to $10. However, we have not published the regulations yet. We're still working on, it's a working document. Now, when the change comes into effect, we didn't just arbitrarily say $10, wake up and say $10. We actually ran a inflation scenario. The landing fee was back in the late 80s. And between that and now, it should be approximately, last year it was 2 years ago, it was at $7. So I'm assuming probably roughly almost $8 by now. And so we're just gonna round it up to 10. And that should be the fee for the next couple of years.
When Delta Airlines stopped service here 15 months ago, it cut the island's only direct airlink to and from Japan. Since then, Japanese arrivals have been almost non-existent, save for a few charter flights. Many are hoping that changes in the coming months with new air service from Skymark, but when will that service start? Here's more. Delta Airlines stopped service to the Marianas last May. Their last flight cut critical service that made it much harder for Japanese tourists to get here. We used to welcome tens of thousands of Japanese tourists each month. That number is now in the hundreds. Skymark announced their intention to offer service from Tokyo, but summer has come and gone and no starting date has been announced. Friday, the Lieutenant Governor and MVA officials met with Skymark officials in Japan. Governor Torres says he expects to get more information on a start date in the coming days.
I believe President Ichie will be coming September. We're hoping that an update will be hopefully by the end of the year, sometime by the end of the year, but we'll be getting more clarification in the next week or so.
Okay, so far no
specific date, but I told the executive director, MVA, and some of the board, and even you, we appreciate all of our tourist destination has been here, whether it be China, Korea, and the other Asian, but we need to also look at the opportunity and bring back our Japanese market. That's a market that we have lost, and I think it's healthy for our to diversify our economy and our tourists. And I asked the board and the executive director to look at means and ways that we can increase our number of tourists. And I know Skymart is one. Our airline is our #1 priority to get that in. And so I look forward for next year to increase our number of Japanese tourists here.
Those comments from the governor yesterday afternoon at the Okinawan Peace Memorial. Coming up after the break, what's the buzz with bees? We'll find out next.
Get the phone plan you're looking for at IT&E. Stay connected with the strongest, widest, and most reliable network in the Marianas. Stream, share, play, shop, and surf the web with super fast 4G LTE data. Whether you need just a few gigabytes of data to get by, or if you want to go further with unlimited data, there's a plan for you. You'll always get the best price. Visit any IT&E store or call us to learn more. IT&E. Explore your world.
Traveling or laying over on Guam? Don't wait around. Zip into Guam Adventures Zipline Park inside the Hilton Resort and Spa. Guides will take you through a series of zips, starting with a mountain course and then zip over the ocean with spectacular views of Tumon Bay. 6 zip lines in all deliver a thrilling experience, and it's family friendly, so bring the kids ages 6 and up. You'll love the security of double lines and a new braking system to make riding smoother. The towers are named after the islands in the Marianas. We call it the Island Hopper. Your guides will teach you what you need to know to soar through the jungle with a bird's eye view. Best of all, for residents of Saipan, Tinian, and Rota, you can book this experience at 20% savings. Log on to GuamAdventures.com and during checkout, use offer code HAFA20. Book it and zip it today. We'll even pick you up.
Jose and Pedro were born on the very same day. Jose liked to play sports. Pedro liked to play video games. Jose's favorite word was pass. Pass me the ball. Pedro's favorite word was pass too. Pass me the rice. Jose is retired and has both time and energy. His life is just beginning. Pedro has diabetes, hypertension, and gout. His life could soon end. Eat less, play more, live longer. Brought to you by PHI, the pharmacy you can trust. Welcome back. You're watching the Channel 2 News. There's a global decline in honeybees, and it poses a serious threat to plants and humans. KSPN's Ashley McDowell speaks with one research associate from Guam that is looking to build up the bee population, and residents on Saipan can help.
Bees. They are flying insects closely related to wasps and ants that buzz through the air, hopping from flower to flower. But many don't realize just how important these little insects are to us. The honeybee is best known for their role in pollination and producing sweet yellowish-brown fluid called honey.
Honeybees, there's two things that people raise honeybees for. The two main things, local honey and pollination for farmers.
But it is a scarce time as honeybees are becoming less and less populated, a main reason relating back to humans.
So every year, the U.S. loses about 50% of their bee colonies. And it's due to overwintering and, human impact is usually the big thing.
Currently, Rosario has a project set up in Guam that is helping to reproduce the bee population.
5 years ago, we've had funding to do a national honeybee survey on Guam, just Guam only. And in order for us to establish a queen bee industry, is that we have to do a full 7-year-long survey to show that we have healthy bees. My future long-term goal behind this, the university's future long goal behind this, is to be able to establish a queen bee export industry. So places like Hawaii, Australia, Europe, many parts of the world export queen bees to the U.S. and to many different parts of the world to keep up with the honeybee populations.
And he is hoping to start the same project here in the CNMI.
The past 3 years, we did not have the funding to get more samples from the CNMI. But next year, the University of Guam, we've submitted a proposal to actually collect honeybee samples here. And so given that, we can establish beehives here based on the funding that we get, and establish these beehives. And some farmers here are growing it's small-scale farming here. But we establish those beehives here, then we can actually get a full 7-year-long survey, and by that time, the honeybee industry would have grown here.
With an ultimate goal to expand the population of honeybees.
So Guam right now has about 20 beekeepers on island. Before there were only about 4 or 5. But it just shows that within the 5 years, it has grown to now. There's about over 150 colonies on Guam that is domesticated. When I started 5 years ago, there were more feral beehives in the environment than there were beehives in boxes. And that just goes to show that the industry has grown. And again, the industry, when I'm talking about an industry, it's not, business or anything. It's local beekeepers, rescuing beehives from the environment, putting them into boxes, and then they raise them for farming, for honey production, pollination.
Currently, there is only one beekeeper on Saipan and one beekeeper on Rota, but Rosario is looking to recruit more keepers.
It's established beehives here, check on them, do the survey every 3 times a year, send out the samples.
Rosario has requested $15,000 for the 2020 year to collect samples, buy supplies, and maintain the beehives, where more research can be done in the CNMI.
And so they provide us funding to find out more about what's going on with the honeybees here in the Marianas Islands.
If you find any beehives on the island of Saipan, Chris Rosario asks you contact him at 671-487-1640 to report it, where he can extract the hive and place it on a bee farm. Reporting for KSPN, I'm Ashley McDowell.
Thanks, Ashley. Secretary of Finance David Attelig confirms that IPI has paid its casino license fee in full. He says yesterday they wired $10.5 million to the CNMI Treasury. Guam has its own foreign labor market problems, and Boy Scouts of America want to settle. KUAM's Chris Barnett brings us this report.
Avade Tato CNMI, here's what's making news on Guam. In the past 24 hours, more than 30 motions have been filed in the district court related to proposed confidential settlements that have been reached in the church child sex abuse scandal involving the Boy Scouts of America. Now, according to a joint motion for determination of good faith settlement and dismissal, they're asking the court to make a finding that the settlement between the parties satisfies the good faith provisions in law. A majority of the cases involved alleged sexual abuse perpetrated by Father Louis Brouillard, who was also a Boy Scoutmaster. The priest, who is now deceased, admitted to sexually abusing boys. The Leon Guerrero Tenorio administration says it managed to avert another major snag in the foreign worker program. High-level officials in the Philippine government have agreed to Guam's recommended fix that will allow the flow of Filipino skilled workers to continue. Our very own Nestor Lecanto reports.
Labor Director David De La Sola says local contractors were caught off guard a few months ago when the Philippine consulate here began holding back worker approvals.
Basically, they were the consulate general was given instructions not to sign off on the authentication of the employment contract, and thus it was being stuck there.
The consulate was enforcing a Philippine government regulation that requires employers to provide overseas Filipino workers with free room and board. De La Sola says while it's been on the books, it's never been enforced here. He says the governor sent her senior economic advisor, Carl Gutierrez, to Manila to set a meeting with the Philippine Labor Secretary and the head of the Philippine Overseas Employment Administration, a powerful agency that's charged with overseeing Filipinos abroad and whose remittances account for more than 10% of the economy. De La Sola says they were able to convince them that Guam's higher salaries more than offset the room and board requirement.
Our H-2 workers make an average of $15.64 an hour, which is the prevailing wage. And that wage is is significantly higher than what is given the workers in the Philippines. So that is what I said is our offsetting benefit. And if this provision isn't removed, that it effectively make the Philippine H2 non-competitive, and that the contractors would most likely go to different countries.
He expects Manila will give the local consulate authorization this week to sign off on pending worker contracts as they work on a formal country exemption.
And that would put a permanent fix in place so that if there's change of administrations down the road, that this subject won't pop up and become an issue again.
For Guam's News Network, I'm Nestor Lecanto.
Stay connected via our KUAM mobile news app. Follow us on any of the social media platforms and sign up for our weekly email newsletter, KUAM Digital Digest, on KUAM.com. From Guam's News Network, I'm Chris Barnett.
Thank you, Chris. All right, coming up in the KSPN2 Sports Report, an international soccer festival says thank you and good night.
Faster, easier to use. With live TV, recordings, video on demand, and streaming apps, all in a single place. When you're looking for something new, recommendations are tailored to you. Voice-powered, personalized results to find what you want faster. And the unlimited potential of smart home. The new experience from TiVo is here.
Welcome to Marianas Medical Center. We've been taking care of you and your family since 1998. We offer preventive health care services, acute and chronic care for both adults and children.
微产期以及妇科的检查.
신생아 성별 검사 및 영유아 건강 검진.
Meron po kaming food handlers, green cards, school at sports clearances.
Greenig Marianas Medical Center oferece todo classe de serviço para a família mesmo dia.
We accept Medicaid, Medicare, and most private insurance plans, and we also accept individuals without any medical insurance. We're conveniently located in the JKR building on Beach Road, Garapan. Marianas Medical Center, quality health care for your entire family.
Visit American Memorial Park, one of Saipan's leading visitor attractions. Open 7 days a week from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. The visitor center is located in Garapan, just a short walk from most hotels. This U.S. National Park honors the American and Marianas people who lost their lives in World War II during the Marianas Campaign. Entrance is free. Take time to view the main film, to learn about the Battle of Saipan, and walk through the extensive and fascinating museum exhibits. Don't forget to stop by the museum gift shop, which offers unique and exclusive merchandise. All proceeds are donated to the park's education program. Come discover the American Memorial Park. Buenas sports fans. Buenas sports fans, the Coblerville Gym is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. The Pacific Amusement Rollers Summer Basketball League was a pleasant surprise with thrilling championship games in 3 age divisions. Tonight we're going to take a look at the U16 finale. Rollers 33, Ole Aces 30, 12 minutes to go. Chris Tadella finds Devin Pangolin under the basket for a Rollers hoop. Vince squeezes through 3 defenders to make that shot. Greg De Leon Guerrero, the reverse. 1 point game with less than 9 minutes left in the season. The Old Aces take the lead on that nifty assist. Aaron Villarin, just enough to get it over the top and down. Steve King takes a drive along baseline street. Is it football season yet? This touchdown pass to King worth 2 points. Greg slips around the defender for the underhanded layup like they teach you in PE class. Jarrett Paulus. Oh, it's a top play of the week. Drive to succeed. King sees Cobreville open up like the Red Sea, and that's an easy lay-in. The Rollers were up by 2. Oh, this was the game. Final seconds, Ole Aces no. Ole Aces yes! The bucket plus the foul! Tie game, 10 ticks remaining. Cold as ice. He sinks the free throw. A 1-point advantage. Last chance. Atalik misses Villarin. The buzzer beater. The Rollers take the championship 49-4. Wait, it's not over. 0.2 of a second left. Don't go home yet. The Ole Aces inbounds. Rollers knock it away. Game over. Wait, it's not over. 1/10 of a second. For the game, the step back 3. Oh, not close. Now it's over. The Rollers win the championship game 49-48.
Were you aware of the time?
Yes, I was. I was just in the game. I actually wanted, I had the motivation to win. So I did what the coach told me to. Box out, get a rebound, and make that shot in.
Is that the biggest shot of your career?
Yes, it was.
What did you think of that game?
That was a good game. That was kind of like...
Is that the best game in Culverville gym history?
I think so, man. I think so, Bob.
I think so.
We can put that down on the record, that's for sure.
Well, it was the greatest game in that gym for 10 minutes, and then the U18 had their championship, and it went into overtime. We're going to have full highlights Thursday night. Well, after the NMI U18 Nationals swept to the top of the International Soccer Festival, the final game between the Saipan All-Stars and Beijing Elite Corps was simply for pride. It was a goodwill game, friendly. Saipan All-Stars, Mark Esselin, straight on attack. He gets run off the ball. A little push there, but no fouls called. Elite Corps with the shot, and it goes wide to left, and it was still 0-0. Beijing with the drop shot, and it goes into the top of the netting. There's a long shot for the Saipan All-Stars. Rebound by Jaira Yobe. Oh, it's blocked by Lian Wong, and the ball goes through defenders and out of bounds. Well, with the rain and humidity, one wonders if Wong's prescription goggles would fog up, and yes, they did, but he came to play, and he played well. Juan Wong attacking Alo Angeles, sliding on the slippery turf, accidentally touches the ball with his hand just outside of the box. That leads to a free kick. Zhenzing Wong stretches out for the header off John Kapaya's noggin into the far corner of the net for the first goal of the game. All's well that ends well, and it did. Elite Corps takes this one 3-0 with a picture that they'll be proud of and a trip with memories that will last for the rest of their lives.
Here's the windup and the pitch.
I don't believe what I just saw!
Get your game and gear at Gold's Gym Saipan. Group exercise is a great way to get fit and then stay fit. For something high tempo, go for a ride with one of our instructors in our new spin room. Let's roll. Pilates improves flexibility, builds strength, and develops control and endurance in the whole human body. It also improves coordination and balance. And the Shake Cafe is a great place to stop by for a meal replacement or supplement. See you at Gold's Gym.
Today's high temperature was 90, the low 80. The heat index way up there at 107. Humidity 79%. Tomorrow partly cloudy, isolated showers, northeast winds 10 miles an hour. High around 89, low 79. Seas 3 to 4 feet. Sunrise 4 past 6, a low tide at 12:50, sunset at 6:32. That's news, sports, and weather on this Wednesday night. Thank you for watching, and hopefully we'll see you back here, right here, tomorrow night.